Snizzity Stat, baby. We're back for Motivate with EY. And it is getting towards the end of the year. I got almost one whole year of podcasts every single week. Sometimes they were late, sometimes they were not. But 1 year of consistent podcasts. It's been fun. And it's been really good. And so what I did was two things kind of came together for me to talk about this week. Number one, end of the year, kind of want to do a little a mini recap, if you will. But also, I went and got my results done at Total Nutrition. Shout out to Total Nutrition here in Las Vegas. And they have the machines where you takes your weight, takes all your measurements for your total body mass, your skeletal mass, your muscle mass. And so you can monitor how well you're doing on your progress for health and fitness. Make sure if your goal is to lose body fat, also increase your muscle mass, your lean muscle mass, and make sure you're trending on the right direction. And so I do this about every couple of months or so, just to make sure I'm on the right path. And I started doing it about 2 years ago, and I was real heavy, lots of body fat. I was about 46% body fat. It was terrible. And so now obviously I've trended back into the healthier direction, but I'll get into that here in a second. So where to start? So this week, being that it's towards the end of the year, kind of wanted to touch on where I started at the beginning of the year. So beginning of the year is talking about setting goals, writing them down, being accountable to your goals, tracking your progress along the way, how to get over obstacles, how to get through certain things, how to follow a certain path, and then you have to veer from the path to go onto your new journey down whatever road it takes you. Talking about the whole choose your own adventure concept. And so here we are. It's the end of the year. So I'm going to stop and reevaluate where I am and where I'll be going here moving into the future. So, like I said, I got my notes here, as always. So we set the goals. So let's say, you set some goals at the beginning of the year. You started making good progress, or maybe you made a lot of progress, and that's great. And now maybe towards the end of the year, you're kind of hitting a lull or a plateau, or things aren't going maybe as good, as smooth, as fast as you want them to. So I'll kind of talk about what I'm doing here, and hopefully that helps. Once again, I'm not a professional in any of this, any way, shape, or form, but I kind of want to give you my own anecdotal advice on how I'm handling things, maybe food for thought as well. And hopefully it helps you guys out there doing what you're doing. So like I said, I was trending on the right direction with all my health things. I got my diet on point. I'm working out like a banshee, anywhere between 5-6 days a week. And between my jiu-jitsu training and my weight training, I was hitting it real hard. Even doing morning cardio or fasted cardio, where I haven't eaten anything in the morning. My last meal was the night before. I would get up, get on the treadmill, and do it for about 45 minutes at a fast-paced walk. You want to get your heart rate up to about 90 to 100 beats per minute. Sometimes I would go a little bit more, maybe 110 beats per minute. And just a nice fast-paced walk. Nothing too hard. You don't want to get your heart pumping too much, just enough to get your heart rate within that range. I was doing that and seeing some really good results. My body fat percentage had dropped down. My muscle mass had increased. And so my overall weight had gone down. So my original starting point, about 220 pounds, maybe 219, something like that, when I really started tracking it. And trending all in the right directions, losing weight, getting smaller clothes size, things like that. And then about a month and a half ago, I did what most people do. I do what I tell people not to do. And that's to get complacent. I got super complacent with my diet, with my workout regimen. And so I'm going to share my results here with you. And then we're going to talk about what I'm doing now and what all of us kind of do when we get to this point, and then kind of maybe how it goes off the rails from here, but also how to get yourself kind of back on track so you stay on the path that you need to go down. So here we go. This is the sheet that it prints out for you, and it gives you your last 3 results. So however often you want to go in, I like every other month is about a good cycle for me to really see where I'm at, because 1 month, yeah, you can make some change, but after 60 days, you can really see where you're trending and what's going on. Sometimes I'll do it a little bit more often, just because if I'm feeling really good, I want to give myself, I'll assume the number is going to be really good on here. And so I'll want to see that just to help propel myself to work harder. So, I know how my brain works. And so I do things to try to optimize how I perform. So a few months ago, I went in, my weight had dropped all the way down to, this is with my clothes on and things like that. So it's a little bit higher than what I weigh, obviously without my clothes. But I got down to 178.6. This was kind of at my peak here. Actually, let's go back a little bit further. I was at 182 with my clothes on. So probably about 178-ish without clothes. My muscle mass was 83 pounds muscle mass. My body fat percentage had dropped down to 20.3. So this was kind of right around my peak. Actually, just before that, see, here I am just telling stories. Just before that was actually my peak, 182.4 pounds. 84.4 pounds of muscle mass. So we're looking at almost half of my weight was probably pretty close to half, because without clothes. So about half was muscle mass, and I dropped all the way down to 19.3% body fat. I got down to the teens. I was at 46% body fat at my highest. It was terrible. I cut that in half, less than half. Got all the way down to 19.3% body fat. And that's when I was cooking, man. This was right around October, and probably mid-October-ish or something like that. Maybe a little before that, maybe end of September. And I mean, my diet was on point. My exercise regimen was just on. Even if it was just getting a quick workout in, I would get, 15, 20 minutes in, good resistance training. I'm lucky enough, I have a garage where I have a big, piece of workout equipment. I have dumbbells. I got all these things. But like I've said before, you can get a great workout without any weights. And it's probably a good thing to do just body weight stuff. If you haven't been working out for a while, or if you've never worked out, you should not add, heavy weights anyway. So let's get back on track. So then I was tracking my progress, and it would fluctuate a little bit here and there. I'd actually lose pounds, but at the same time I was losing some muscle mass. So my weight training had not been as good, slipping a little bit. And then my body fat percentage started creeping back up to 20.3, then 21.5. And I figured, you know what, I'm good. It's not a big deal. I'm just kind of fluctuating here a little bit. I'll even it back out. Then my weight dropped significantly down to 178.8. Once again, this is with clothes, so I'm down to like 173, 174. I would weigh in here at the house, and that's where I came in at. So I was leaning out, but the problem was too, I was losing some muscle mass. So that's okay. But then all of a sudden, boom, I got another little spike in my body fat percentage, went up to 23.5%. Now, that's body fat percentage. So understand, as my muscle pounds decreased, that automatically increases my body fat, right? Because it's only, my skeletal mass is going to be the same no matter what. So those are the only two numbers. So as my muscle mass decreases, my body fat percentage increases. Not necessarily my body fat pounds or mass, but just the percentage increases because my muscle's going down. I hope that makes sense. If you're not good at math, I'm sorry, but basically that's how it is. Now, that being said, I was definitely putting on some additional fat pounds. So I'm getting it from both ends. I'm losing muscle mass, and I'm increasing my overall fat mass. Not by a lot, but by a little bit. And I'm talking about this because I'm I'm very conscious of my health, my weight, my performance in the gym, when I'm training jujitsu, my strength levels, all these things. I'm very, very in tune with these things. And so even being as in tune as I normally am, these numbers are not going in the right direction. And I kind of ignored them. In fact, so anyway, so here's what I just got this done 2 days ago. I'm sorry, yesterday. I just got this done yesterday. My weight went up to 181.6, like I said, with clothes on. My muscle mass dropped to 76 pounds. So now I went from half of my body mass being muscle, dropped down to about 40%. And which then increased, once again, my body fat percentage. Does that mean necessarily I gained more body fat? Not necessarily, but being that my weight went up, my muscle mass went down, that's what means, yes, I gained more body fat mass and pounds as well. And I could feel it. You know, I can feel it when I put my jeans on. It's not as loose as it normally was. I can feel it or I can see it when I'm looking in the mirror. I'm getting dressed. I'm like, I'm looking a little more bloated, that kind of stuff. And so I said something. I've said it a couple times, in fact, in the last couple weeks, or let's say in the last month. I've said it, and if you're not careful, it can be the kiss of death. What I said this out loud. I said this to my wife. I even said it to my parents, I think. I said, you know, I've gotten to a place now that I'm very in tune with my workout regimen and my diet, that I can pretty much eat whatever I want. And as long as I'm careful about it, it's not going to affect me. Did you guys hear that? I heard it, right? Did it make you cringe? Made me cringe after, you know, once I got these numbers, I was like, ooh, yeah, I can't, that's not the right mindset to be in. So yes, I actually said those words, and that's why these numbers are where they are. Let's be honest. Numbers don't lie. And I like doing these tests because it forces me. It absolutely forces me to look at the results and evaluate where I am and what do I need to do now to either get back on track or to get on track and to affect these numbers in a positive way. What do I have to do now? Because I can't ignore it anymore. I have the information, right? And once you have the information, you have to do something about it. So, number one, I have to be honest. I have to be honest with myself. What have I been doing over the past month and a half or so that's gotten me to this place? What have I been doing? And what have I not been doing? Well, let's take a look. What have I changed? Well, first of all, when I'm telling myself and I'm saying out loud to other people, I can eat whatever I want and not have it really affect me. Well, that's wrong, obviously. And so that's one of the major factors. I have been choosing foods that have not been as healthy. I've been eating maybe desserts more often, and not good desserts like I normally have, where it's, you know, maybe a piece of Ezekiel bread with some peanut butter, a little bit of honey, maybe a banana, half a banana. That's perfect. That's what I used to eat for dessert. Well, I've been having chocolate bars, or I'll have this, or I'll have that, slice of cake or something like that. At work, I did notice this too. At work, people would bring in donuts or brownies or whatever, birthday cake for somebody's birthday. They would always ask me, do you want a piece? Knowing I was going to say no. They always knew I would say no. And it was kind of a joke around the office. But I've been partaking more often because, like I said, my mindset is, hey, I can have this slice of cake. I can have a donut. I can have 2 donuts. I'm going to work out later today. I'm going to go to jujitsu today. I'm going to burn all this off. Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. And this will lead me into the next thing. Another thing that I was doing, or not doing for that matter, I wasn't training as often as I was when I was at the peak moments where all my numbers were really coming together. I wasn't training as often. I would take extra days off thinking, oh, you know what? I'm okay. I don't have to go train tonight. I'm going to sit at home and relax. And even if I'm going to sit at home and relax, normally when I would do that, I would go into the garage and I would work out here at the house. I would get a really good workout in. And I would tell myself, well, I'm not going to go to jiu-jitsu tonight, but I'll stay at home and I'll work out at the house instead. I'll still get a good workout in. Didn't do that. I got a little lazy. Yeah, you know what? I'm not feeling it tonight. I'm just going to take it easy. This will be a nice, relaxed recovery day. I'll be fine. I'll work real hard tomorrow. And what happens tomorrow? The next day, same thing. Got into this lazy mindset. The mindset I tell people all the time: don't do it. Don't get into it. Don't let it beat you. Don't let it overcome you. You know. And I'm allowing this to happen. Why? Because I get comfortable. Because I feel like, hey, I can do this. It's no big deal if I take this little bit of time off. And then one training session, not going turns into two, turns into, only getting a couple in for the week. And then the next week, same thing. Next thing you know, 3-4 weeks have gone by and I've only worked out once or twice a week instead of 5 or 6 times a week. And on top of that, I'm eating, bagels or donuts in the morning at work. And I'm eating dessert, a bad dessert at the end of the night. All these things are contributors. And if this is forcing me to have to stop and look at myself. And this is really the overall message here is when you hit a plateau or you're hitting a lull and whatever goals you are, it doesn't even have to be, health and fitness. It can be anything. If you're not getting to that next level of where you want to be, or even staying on that trajectory, right? That upward trajectory you want to be in, if that's not happening, you have to stop for a second. Just stop. Take a moment. Look at what's going on. Look at what you're doing and reevaluate. Be honest with yourself and think, what was I doing when things were really popping, when things were cooking really, really good for me? What was I doing? And am I still doing those things? Or have I replaced those good habits with bad habits? Am I getting lazy? Because that's, when things get going, we feel like the momentum is going to carry us to where we want to go. But, we're a machine. We got to keep going. If we're not propelling this machine forward, you might get a little momentum going, but it's almost like going up a slight incline here because your trajectory is this way. That momentum only carries you so far. And then what? It stops. And then, start coming back. And you start going the other direction. And that I will not let happen. Not with this podcast, not with my health, especially not my health. I'm not going to let it happen. So I had to stop, reevaluate, and be honest about what I was doing and what I was not doing. I was not working out and being as active as I once was when I was really, really at my peak. I was not overcoming my mental state when I wanted to give myself a day off. And there's a difference between being injured and really, really not being able to train, or if your goal is something else. If you really, really can't get away from the house to go somewhere to designate the time to do whatever your goals are, if you really can't do it, there are those exceptions, but those are a small percentage of it. Usually, all the other times, it's laziness. We give ourselves this way out. I don't need to do it today. I'll do it twice as hard tomorrow. How many of us really do that? If we were really like that, we'd be like that across the board, right? We would do that in every part of, we wouldn't even be in this position a lot of times, not where we want to be, if that's really our mindset. So we got to be honest with ourselves and say, this is what I was doing, this is what I wasn't doing, and this is what I need to fix to get back on track. So that's what I'm doing here. I stopped meal prepping. I stopped, here at our house, we have a calendar a lot of times, and we have a calendar, but a lot of times we'll put on the calendar what we're doing for dinner throughout the nights. And when we go to the store, we buy exactly what we're going to have for dinner. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and maybe Friday, we'll leave open. Saturday we'll leave open, but Saturday during the day, we already know we're gonna have this for breakfast. It's so regimented and it's perfect because we don't have to think about it. It's already pre-planned. We buy everything we need at the store, minus a few things here or there, because we like to buy things fresh, a lot of fresh vegetables, fresh meats, things like that. We don't want them sitting in the refrigerator too long. So we buy them on the day that we're gonna make those meals. Maybe just, we buy the mushrooms when we're gonna have something with mushrooms on the day. I don't want them sitting out for too long or in the fridge. So we make those adjustments, but we got away from that and we started eating out more. And even when we're eating out, we weren't going to the greens and proteins and to Zupas and getting a nice lean salad and things like that. No, I was getting other things. I was getting cheeseburgers and eating French fries. I've eaten more French fries in the last 2 months than I ate the whole rest of the year. I'm telling you, I allowed it to happen. So poor decision making, poor planning. I've talked about this many times on this podcast. If you are not planning your meals out, if you're not planning your day out, if you're not planning your goals out, you will not reach where you want to be. Bottom line. That's it. That's it. Every successful person will tell you that. So I wasn't planning, I wasn't preparing, and therefore that's why I was falling short. That's why these numbers are where they are, and I have nobody to blame but myself. So now what am I doing? Back to meal prepping. Made some honey sriracha chicken the other day. Made a big thing of it, a whole bunch of chicken tenders. Made a whole bunch of jasmine rice. Eating leftovers. I had that for lunch today. It was phenomenal. Yesterday I had greens and proteins back on the healthy track, back eating good, lean, healthy meats, good solid carbs, everything my body needs for my workout program, and making sure that I'm fueled the right way and that I'm way more prepared and eating the right things. So back on that track. My workout regimen since we got back after the Thanksgiving holiday, boom, hitting the gym hard right away. Boom, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today, I'm not going to jiu-jitsu, but I will work out here at home. I will get that workout in tonight. I promise you that. So workout, back on track, everything. Because I want these numbers, I want my overall health, I want my goals to get right back where I need them to be. No more excuses. I don't care if it's the holidays. I don't care that it's whatever. Oh, this is the time to chill, relax, and enjoy life. I'm going to enjoy life. Trust me. I'm still going to enjoy life. I'm going to do all the things that I want to do. I'm just going to do less of the unhealthy things because it's important to me. I know myself. If I let myself get too far off track, I'll get right back to that 220-pound person that I see in pictures, in old pictures, and I'm like, man, that's not me. That guy's dead. So there's always consequences to poor decisions, to poor planning, to poor execution. Even if you have a plan, if you're not going to execute it properly, there's always going to be consequences. And when you start telling yourself, like I did, I'm sharing this with you because I did it. I just did this. I tell people not to do it, and I just did it. Why? Because I'm a human. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Talk about it all the time. Ask anybody who knows me. They'll tell you I ain't perfect. So I make mistakes, and I allowed my ego. I allowed my thought process of thinking I got it licked. Right? Here's the thing about life. We never just have it licked. You can never just sit back and just, I got it all figured out. I don't have to do any more work for the rest of my life. That doesn't exist, right? And I was getting to that mindset, and that's not a good mindset to be in. But the good thing is I caught it now, so it doesn't get out of hand. And now I'm more aware of it, mentally conscious of it, that if it starts creeping up on me again in the future, I'll slap that right back. Get out of here. Not going down that road again. So it's a good learning experience for me, and I wanted to share it with all of you. We all have to be careful if we're falling off track of what our goals are, what our dreams are, of where we need to be. We have to stop, reevaluate, be honest about what has gotten us off this path. Look at the results. Go get the results. In whatever way, shape, or form it is, stop and look at where you are, where you got to track it. You don't really know where you are unless you have some sort of way of measuring and making sure that you're on track. I know it's scary. I know we don't always want to know what's going on. We don't know exactly. We want to think we know. We want to think, I'm doing pretty good here. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I don't need to take a look at it. We do that with I've done it with my finances, where I'm like, yeah, it's good, and I don't want to look at the bills right now. No, it sucks. It hurts. It's not fun. But if you don't do it, there's going to be consequences. And if you actually do it, there's good consequences. That's the good thing. You know where you are. You know where the gaps are, where you need to fill in, and you get it done because you know. And when you know, then it becomes negligence. Otherwise, it's just, if you don't know and you don't want to know, and then it's kind of ignorance, right? It's like we all know what's healthy for us mentally, physically, emotionally, all these things. We know what the healthy is healthy for us, but we choose these unhealthy versions because it's fun, or because it's easy, or because it seems like it's an okay thing to do for now. And we don't want to look and reevaluate ourselves because it makes us feel bad. Let's just kind of call it what it is. We have to feel bad. We have to know that we're making bad decisions and we're not where we want to be. And it's a hard thing to do. But if you do it, if you go get the results and you find out what's going on and you properly plan, you write it out and you make sure that you follow those things and you get it done and you get it done correctly, it'll all be worth it. I promise you it'll all be worth it. I'm so excited that this year has been so much fun for me in all aspects of my life, my personal life, my work life. Doing this podcast has been amazing. I've had so many great friends push me and keeping me motivated. Even when some of the weeks I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. It's a lot of work and I get not many people watching, but as more and more people give me feedback and tell me they like the videos and they like what I'm talking about and it helps them out, and thank you so much, and all the support I'm getting, with the guests that are coming on. I got more guests beginning of the year now. I got more and more people wanting to do it and do it again for a second time. It's all good stuff, and this keeps me motivated. It's been a lot of fun. 2019 has been a very good year. For sure, it's had its challenges, lots of challenges. But I love it. Bring them on. Bring on the challenges. I'm going to challenge myself more next year with the podcast. More guests, more fun content, more good stuff. I'm challenging myself in jiu-jitsu. I'm going for a world championship. I'm doing it all. My fitness, strength and conditioning, training hard, kicking ass. I'm going to do more tournaments to lead up to the big tournament towards the end of the year. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome. So thank all of you who watch this. Thank all of you who share this and tell friends and like my stuff on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Liking all my stuff on my Instagram page. I can't tell you what it means to me. It means a lot to me. So the message for this week: stop, reevaluate where you are, look at the results, be honest with yourself, make the changes. There's always consequences, but never stop. Boom. Thank you once again. This is Motivate with EY. Have a great week. We'll see you all again soon.